and you won't remember when somebody might just say, "Okay." Okay, so please mute your mic to avoid external noise. Well, there'll be a time when you'll be allowed to mute and maybe ask a question. Okay. So it will also be lovely to see your face. It will also be lovely to see your face. So please, if you're not shy, if you're in a good environment, please show your face. Let's see you. Thank you very much. All right. So before we begin, I want to be sure that everyone is ready. If you're ready, please type ready in the chat. Ready, 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 so that we can just pick that. If you're ready, type ready. I want to see people that are ready. I'm ready. So let's go. So if you're ready, you can add a fire emoji. Okay, awesome, awesome. I can see your name is not showing though. Wari's phone, Wari's iPhone. Who else can I see there? Oh, my voice is not clear. Sorry about that. Is it clear now? Please let me know. Is my voice clear enough now? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so I can see that everyone is ready. So welcome to the Data Sally NG Masterclass. Thank you for joining us. Kindly mute your mic, like I said before, and then we'd love to see your face if you're comfortable to show your face. Okay, so who are we? Data Sally. Who is Data Sally? Who is Data Sally NG? Okay, Data Sally NG is an AI and data edu tech platform. Okay, Data Sally NG is a data and AI edutech platform. It was founded in November 2024. And from that time in November till now, we've had about three cohorts, successful cohorts, students from Nigeria and outside Nigeria. So we are not limited, our classes are not limited to only students from Nigeria or students in Nigeria or people rather in Nigeria. And then we've had over 20 students in our course. So that means if we are talking today, you should know that we are not speaking from a point of no experience. We have a lot of experience. We are not just instructors, we also work as data professionals. So we're going to be giving you first-hand information. Okay, what other message do we have? I'm also checking the chat box to see if I have any important questions, something. Okay, so follow us on our social media platforms. We put out very good content to help you on your data journey. If you want to begin your data journey, or if you are already a data professional and you're seeking help and guidance in order to do well in your data journey. All right, the next thing, okay, please, hope you're following up with me. All right, so why this masterclass? Why did we organize this masterclass? So the reason for the masterclass or the masterclass is going to address the following. One, if you're new to data and AI and confused about where to start, this masterclass will help you, guide you on how to begin as a data professional. Also, if you've started and then you've learned, but you feel stuck or scattered, you understand that feeling where you've learned a lot, but you don't know how to position yourself well for the job market. You don't know which tools to master. So we are here to unlock those questions, answer it, and help you on this journey. Also, if you want the skills that actually convert to income or roles, this masterclass is for you. Then the last one in red, if you want shortcuts without foundations, bye. So I'm sure you really want to learn. That's why you're here. So the buy is not for you. All right. So then we are not just organizing this masterclass.
Hello. Hi, IB. Okay, sorry guys, I think we lost IB, so we'll give her a few minutes to join back. Meanwhile, you can join us on all social media platforms. Emilia, you can help us add our social media handles on Instagram. On Instagram, we are at Data Sally, data_Sally. On TikTok, we are Data Sally, DSNG. You can find us there. And we are also available on Facebook and yeah, so Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So do well to join us on all our social media platforms. So we're also streaming live on TikTok, just in case you have colleagues or friends who might want to share either the link to the live stream or the link to the Zoom platform with them as well. So IB, are you back now? Welcome.
Yeah, I'm back. Thank you
All
very much.
right.
Please, can you see my screen? Let me reshare.
Okay. So we can see your screen except for the badge thing that is covering a part of it.
Okay.
All right. So we are seeing your screen now.
All right. Thank you. I'm sorry for that glitch. Okay. So first of this masterclass, thank you, Sally, for helping me. One free scholarship and 20% discount for two people. Follow us on our social media platforms. And we are on TikTok, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook. And this masterclass is also live on TikTok. So we'd love to have you invite your friends. Also talk about the masterclass, post about it, the things that you're going to be learning here, write them, post about them, and tag us. That will enable you to qualify for the free scholarship and the 20% discount. Okay, so that's all for now. All right, so before we proceed, we're going to play a very simple game. Okay, the game will be played on Mentimeter. Okay, so Emilia, please help us. I'll quickly share my screen. Rather. Okay, can you see my screen? Mhm. Please, if you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. Oh, let me recheck it, please. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we're going to play this game quickly from Mentimeter. So in order for you to play the game, go to Mentimeter, www.menti.com, www.menti.com, or you can enter, when you get to www.menti.com, enter the code 28924285, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. It's going to be a brief game. This is just to lighten This is just to lighten our mood. The link is also on the chat text, so you can easily click on it and get there. So this is just to ease off the tension, to get us prepared for the master class. They are simple questions that just make us happy and lighten our mood before we go on. Okay, so if you're there, please give me a thumbs up. If you successfully logged in, give me a thumbs up. Hello, I'm waiting for you guys to get there. So it's www.mensi.com. Enter the code, or you can scan the QR code. The link is on the chat. You can get it from there. www.mensi.com. Please, if you're there, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Are we there? Hello. We want to play a quick game to get us started for the masterclass. So if you're there now, give me a thumbs up so I'll know that we've logged in successfully. Mensi.com, www.mensi.com. Enter the code on the screen, or you can easily scan the QR code. Okay, I'm seeing the message. Okay, someone is there. The others, we are waiting for you. Okay, our social media handles are on the chat too. You can join us, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. So are we there? I want to begin the game now. Are we there? I've not seen your thumbs up. I don't know if you're ready. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you're there so that we can proceed. Okay, so I'll just begin now. Are we having any challenges? Hello?
No, none.
All right. So let's go to the first question. Okay, so let's get to know. Are the people in this class excited? Are they sad? How do you feel today? So, how do you feel today? Type your response. How do you feel today? Oh wow, great, 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 great. Okay, someone feels great. And this person is really ready for the master class. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm waiting for other responses. How do you feel today? I feel awesome. I feel amazing. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Are you curious? Are you excited? Yeah. I'm waiting for more responses. I've only seen one. One of the things that makes you eligible for the scholarship or the discount is for you to also participate actively in the master class. So, yeah, yeah, expecting you to participate actively to show that you're excited and you're happy to be here. So, how do you feel today? I'm seeing like four participants, but just one response. That's four. How do you feel today? Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. Maybe you don't want to say how you feel today, but I really want to know how you feel today. Okay, the next question. This question. This question is strong. Which country is winning the AFCON? Oh my God. I think we have Senegal and Morocco. We have Nigeria and Egypt fighting for Senegal and Morocco fighting for first and second position. I'm not a football person like that, but I love to follow football news. So Senegal and Morocco are fighting for the first place. So Morocco, Nigeria got the AFCON again now. We lost our match with Morocco. So Okay, Morocco. Yeah, Morocco is a strong team, so they can possibly win. Yes, more responses. Nigeria can play for third place if they win Egypt. Nigeria, Morocco, if they are able to win Senegal, because these two teams are strong. Egypt is also a very strong one. Okay, this person that says Nigeria must have huge, big, very big hope for Nigeria. Maybe I could know the tired Jesus. Yes, right? I love your face. You don't like stress. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move on to the next question so that I know your hearts are already ready. Senegal. Okay, this question. Not it could be Senegal might win. That if they are strong enough to win Morocco. You know Morocco is a host. If they are strong enough to win Morocco, hmm, Senegal will have hope then. Else they will go second place. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. I know you can't wait for the real thing. Okay, thank you so much. I love how you're participating. The next one, how much do you know about data and AI? So rate yourself. Are you an expert? If you're an expert, we are going to drag you. You will join the instructor today, the speaker for today. Well, okay. Some I've already selecting the responses. A lot, a little, say a little, good. You're going to learn more today. Absolutely nothing. You will discover a lot about data and AI today, and it will be awesome for you. A lot, 20%. Okay, that's good. That means you've been researching and working with AI on your own behind the scenes. That's awesome. Okay, I'm still waiting for more responses. Okay, I think more persons are saying they know a little of data and AI. So this class is going to help you know more. Those of you that know nothing at all about AI, data and AI, you will learn today. You'll be exposed. We don't just take classes. Like if you've been part of our boot camp before, you know that it's always practical. We break things down like you're talking to kids. So you're going to understand the tiniest bit of the foundations, the basics. And we don't go straight into the big part. We have to make sure that you understand the foundations, and our classes are hands-on, that are really practical. Okay, so 60% said they know a little and absolutely nothing, 20%, a lot, 20%. Thanks, that's awesome. So we're going to be here together. Thank you very much. Okay, so the final question. What do you hope to get out of this masterclass? What do you hope to get? Yeah, let's get your answers. Let's get your answers. What do you hope to get out of this masterclass? What do you hope to get? We've responded that we know a little, we know nothing yet, we know a lot. So you've come here. What do you expect to get from this masterclass? Let's type our answers. I'm waiting for the responses. Okay, please, can you still hear me? Because I can't see your responses yet. Or are we still
I
typing?
can
We are
still hear
loading.
you.
Okay, all right. Okay, become better in my analysis skills. Be able to use AI since it is part of technology today. Awesome, awesome. Yeah. For you to have joined the masterclass, it means that you want to become better. You want to learn more. So thank you for joining. Yeah, we need more responses. Okay, I believe you're typing a lot. Like you need plenty things from this masterclass. So I'm waiting for your responses to understand where I need to improve. Awesome, awesome. Because our topic says the data and AI skills task for 2026. What employers want, you need to understand what employers want. What are they looking at you getting? Then what to ignore. Yeah, because you don't have to learn everything at once. And also what actually pays, what pays, because you're not just learning for learning's sake. You want to be able to earn from your skills. Okay, so to understand where I need to improve, awesome. What else? Yeah, we need more responses. What do you hope to get? This will also guide the speaker as he's speaking to make you gain something meaningful and useful after the masterclass. So, what do you hope to get out of this masterclass? Two more responses and we are done. So, yeah, we're waiting. What do you hope to get out of this masterclass? Okay, to learn and be expert. Awesome. Wow. To learn and be expert. That's awesome. One more response because I said two. So one more and we are good to go. Okay, we're saving the day to learn and be an expert. Okay, so I think some people have their responses on their mind. Is that, oh, the final one. Thank you. I want to be an expert and be a good student. To be an expert and be valuable for the job market. Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much. Awesome. It's nice having you here. This is the end of our game. Okay, we are back here. All right. Thank you very much for participating. Now we'll go into the webinar proper. Are you ready? Are we ready? So since you've already shared what you look out, what you want to get out of the webinar, that's the masterclass, rather. I'm used to webinar, it's the same too. The masterclass, and we've seen it. So get ready, get your writing pad, get your pen, because I promise you, our speaker is loaded. Our speaker is someone that is experienced. She's been into data right from 2018, if I'm not mistaken. When she comes, she's going to clear all the wrong information. But I'm telling you for free, she started her data journey in 2018, so that's a long time coming. She's been part of different boot camps with ALS, different platforms where she participated in training other people, in mentoring young data professionals. She has good experience and she's also a networking engineer. So get ready. You have someone great that's going to talk to you, someone experienced. So when she's talking, just know that she's talking from a place of experience. And yeah, so are you ready? Let's make welcome Salvation Teachers. Hello, Salvation Teachers. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know my video, I can't see myself, so I don't know if the video is up
Yeah,
or
we
not.
can see you.
Oh,
I
that's
can. Can't I see her? I can't see you. Check your video. Something might be blocking
no, I think
it. Your laptop,
no,
the
it's
video, the camera area.
mm-mm. I'm not sure what is happening because I'm also streaming from my laptop, so maybe that could be the issue.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. Okay, so if you want to see my face, you can go to TikTok. My face is showing on TikTok. My face is showing on TikTok, so you can go to TikTok and see the person speaking because I'm streaming from here and it's a bit difficult. I don't know how to connect this other camera to the webinar or to both at the same time.
I would really love to see your face though.
Yeah, I would have also loved to share. I'm so sorry. Okay, so let us get into the webinar. Please let me know when my screen is up. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, that's great. Okay, so yeah, today we are looking at data and AI skills for 2026. We are going to be understanding what exactly employers want when it comes to data, what to ignore in your learning, and what actually pays, right? We are not going to beat around the bush. We'll try and be succinct as possible, so it's easy for you to flow along. Okay. Then also, if you have any questions, feel free to put them up in the chat. Emilia and IB will let me know once your questions are there and we'll be able to attend to them. All right, so while this video is playing, please, I would like to know where you're joining us from. Are you in Lagos? Are you in Abuja? Are you outside Nigeria? Let us know where you're joining us from. I am currently in Lagos, and it's actually a pleasure, meeting every one of you. Also, this word cloud is basically all the what will I call it now? All the questions you put up in while filling the form. A lot of people said they wanted to learn more about data analysis. A lot of people wanted to know about the skills that employers are looking for. A lot of persons, also pointed out how, they want to learn how to integrate what they are learning into where they are actually working. People who don't exactly want to switch careers completely. They just want to learn a new skill and integrate it to where they are. So we got all of that feedback and we've put it together, and it's showing on a very beautiful word cloud. But aside from that, we are also, making sure, or we are here on this webinar to make sure that you get answers to some of these questions that you have put up. And also you will have opportunity to ask questions at the end of my talk, and we'll be able to address them the best we can. And I would really love that you engage, you interact, and that would be super lovely and it will be very helpful. Okay, so we'll just move on. All right, so the first question I already asked is there on the screen. Where are you joining us from? Also, I would love to know, in one word, what is your biggest confusion when it comes to data and AI? In one word, what's your biggest confusion when it comes to data and AI? I would love to really know, when you hear data, when you hear AI, what is your biggest confusion? Are we putting it on the chat? IB, please, can you help me see what's on the chat?
Okay, just the response to the first question. I'm joining from the state. Response.
Okay, so I just want to know what we are all saying with regards to what our biggest issues are when it comes to data and AI. When it comes to data and AI, what are your biggest issues? What do you think someone should explain to you? What do you think you need someone to really, help you understand? Okay. Um, okay, so I'm seeing on the chat balance and possibilities. Okay, that's a good one. You want to understand balance, you want to understand the possibilities available to you in the market. That's actually great. We'll talk about that. how to navigate the job market. Thank you, Mariam. I'm seeing every other person as they are, adding their comments. Thank you so much. We'll look into that and we'll see how to make sense of all of that and make sure you actually get value for, what you for this masterclass, for the time that you're spending here in this masterclass. Okay. All right. So the harsh truth is that there are a lot of materials out there. In fact, the internet has more data courses than there are jobs. I have to be very honest with you. If you try to check how many data courses, how many AI courses are there online, there are so many of them compared to the amount of jobs that are available. That is the harsh truth, right? There are so many jobs, yes, but there are so much more courses than the jobs that are available. But then, that is usually not the major challenge. The major challenge is because these courses are everywhere. A lot of them are free, especially now with the advent of YouTube, with the advent of materials like Medium, online websites like Geek to Geek, online websites like W3 Schools. There are a lot of free materials everywhere. And when you're so crowded with a lot of knowledge, sometimes you don't even know where to start, right? Sometimes you find it difficult how to even start. You find it difficult what to do first, what to learn first, and so on and so forth. Then the next problem is that a lot of these courses out there are also, telling you, oh, we have certificates for you. And even that is the very tricky part, right? Because there is no world acclaimed, like globally acclaimed there's no globally acclaimed certification for data science, AI. I mean, some organizations have, Google has theirs, Amazon has theirs, Microsoft has theirs, Facebook, I think, also has theirs. Now, a lot of people lean towards these large organizations because they are known globally. I mean, if you learn from Google, chances are that you learned the right thing, right? If you learn from Facebook or from any of these large corporations, chances are that you're learning the right thing, which is amazing, which is really great, right? But the issue now is there's no certification that you will take everywhere in the world and they'll, accept it. But there are certificates everywhere, and everyone who is teaching you is also telling you, oh, we give certificates, we give certificates. These platforms are promising certificates and mastery. And the worst part of it is that a lot of organizations or a lot of platforms are telling you that, oh, you're going to become a data analyst in a few days, in 5 days, in 10 days, in 1 week. That doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So these are the problems. And then even with the free courses everywhere, the certifications everyone is trying to give, people are still very confused. A lot of persons, I remember someone called me very recently, and the person was asking me what's the difference between data science and data analytics, because she or he has been hearing about all of this over and over and over, and the person is finding it difficult to know, okay, so what are the differences between these two courses? What are the differences? Does it mean that if I'm a data analyst, I cannot do data science? Does it mean if I go into data science, I cannot do anything in data analytics? What does it mean? Even at a point, people are even asking these particular tools, what are they even used for? Why are we always talking about data AI, and all that? But the courses are everywhere. The certification is everywhere. But people are still feeling very left out. People are still not sure what actually matters. And that is what we are trying to fix in this masterclass today. So that, yes, the courses are there. Yes, the certifications are there. But you would know how best to address, your learning, how best to structure your learning such that you're able to get the best out of whatever platform, whatever learning platform or organization you're learning with. Okay? Now, the problem, looking out from the many courses, the many certifications, and the so much confusion everywhere, what exactly is the major challenge? Now, the major challenge, sorry, 1 minute. The major challenge is that people are learning without structure. Now, these courses that are everywhere, especially on YouTube, you see one course on introduction to data analysis, another course on introduction to Power BI. You're seeing courses here and then you don't know, what am I supposed to learn first? Am I supposed to learn visualization before learning DAX? Am I supposed to learn Excel before learning SQL? How am I supposed to structure it? And then even when you come into SQL, for example, am I supposed to learn how to create the database before learning how to insert values into the tables of the database? Because you're new to the field, you don't even know what to do first, how to structure your learning, and so on and so forth. And that on its own becomes a problem. The lack of a cohesive learning path is already a problem. It makes it difficult for you to learn because you learn one thing, and then when you tell someone, oh, I've learned how to build tables, and the person is like, okay, can you create a database for me? Because someone who is advanced is like, okay, you're supposed to know how to create a database before knowing how to create tables in the database. But because you were learning randomly, there was no structure, there was no learning path, you skipped some things, and now you are at this point and you don't know the things that should have come before this point, and that becomes a problem for you. So the structure, the lack of structure, even with the availability of materials, that availability of courses, that is a problem, right? Now, the next thing is no feedback. Now, a lot of persons have courses you can watch on YouTube. I, for one, I learned on my own, and I can tell you for a fact that this no feedback is a problem that a lot of people do not even understand, right? It's a problem that you probably feel, it's not necessary. So far as I can follow the course online, so far as I can follow what the person is showing online, I'm good to go, and you think that is all you need. But then you find out that you hit a roadblock because there's nobody to explain it for you. Let me even give you a very life example. I remember one time I was learning, I was doing a course, a nano degree with Udacity, sometime in 2020, 2021. And I found it difficult connecting my endpoints. That's adding a part of my code to the source, the database. I'm trying not to use the actual technological terms, but I was finding it difficult to, connect my code to the data source because the data source was in the cloud and I didn't know what to do, right? I had followed the tutorial. I have done everything they said I should do according to the tutorial, but I wasn't still getting through. Now, Udacity has a discussion platform. I went to the discussion platform. I posted my questions. I added screenshots. I was still not getting feedback that could help me resolve that issue, right? But later down the line, I was able to attend another course. I did another course with a live organization, like an organization where I could walk in and learn live. I can see my teacher. I will tell my teacher, oh, this thing I don't understand. And when I encountered roadblocks in that second course, I found it easy to navigate because I could go to my teacher and say, this is my problem. This is what I'm finding challenging. How do I address it? And my teacher could help me, right? My teacher could, help me understand, okay, this is why you're having this issue and this is how to address it. Because of that feedback, I was able to complete this second course faster than I was able to complete the course on Udacity, right? Because there was feedback. Now, without feedback, chances are that your learning will stall. Chances are that you may not be able to get everything that you would want to get from that course because you're not able to ask questions. Recently, I was also teaching someone Python, basic Python, and this person just kept asking questions. Oh, what if we do it this way? What if we do it that way? And I was able to guide him, to, okay, this is what will come out. This is the outcome. Or maybe we can try it. Let's see how it is. Because I was able to give live feedback, he didn't feel he was talking into the air. He didn't feel he was, wasting time, right? That is the value of feedback. Constructive criticism on your work helps you to identify the weaknesses and also gives you, the room to improve. So feedback is very important for your learning. And most often, the free courses The certifications that are everywhere, they do not provide feedback. The lack of structure, the lack of feedback is usually one of the biggest issues when it comes to learning, just from everywhere. Okay, the next issue is context. Now, people tell you, oh, learn data science, learn data analysis, learn data science, learn data analysis, and you're not even sure what exactly you're supposed to be learning. You're not even sure, okay, when I finish learning this Python, when I finish learning this SQL, when I finish learning this Excel or Tableau or Power BI, where do I apply it? How does it, help me in real life? That gap between knowledge and application to real life becomes a big, massive problem for people. So you see that a lot of people start a course, but because they cannot translate what they are learning to real life, it becomes a big problem for them. And they begin to, I've been learning it, but I don't know how it applies to me. And they just leave it out, right? But that on its own is also a problem with the abundance of resources that we have. When people are not able to tie what they are learning to how to its application in real world, it becomes a problem. So skills learned in isolation lacks the real world application that jobs need. So a lot of times you notice that when you go to tell someone, oh, I did data analysis, because you are not able to tie it to a real world application, you find it difficult to go through even the interview stage if you get there. Now, what is the next issue? The next issue is accountability. Accountability is when you are able to tell someone, oh, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. And the person is like, you told me yesterday that by the end of today, you would have done this, you would have done that. Where are you with that? At what point are we looking for the deliverable? When do we expect you to have finished with this project? Because nobody is pushing you, because you don't have to respond to anybody, it becomes problematic. You notice that you are not able to continue the way you are supposed to, right? Let's take an example. You notice some of these people who tell you, oh, I'm learning data science, and they're posting on TikTok. Do you know why they are doing that? They are doing that so that maybe if they don't post in 2-3 days, someone can reach out to them and say, I used to see your videos on data science. Why are you no longer posting them? Did you stop? That is one of the reasons why people do that. People also join boot camps and learning platforms, communities, because they want someone to look them in the face and say, you were doing this 2 days ago. What is happening today? I didn't see your post yesterday. I didn't see your assignment yesterday. I didn't see this. I didn't see that. How far? What is happening? Where can we help? That accountability pushes a lot of people to improve, to not stop on the way, right? And without accountability, you already have a problem and you may not be able to learn properly if you don't have anybody you're accountable to. Because truth be told, when you're starting up a new field, sometimes your motivation is not self-sustained. I have to be honest with you, I have been there, and I'm sure a lot of other people who have grown in their data journey can tell you free that they were not always motivated. Sometimes you needed someone to say, but guy, how far? You've not done this, you've not done that. Have you taken this course? Have you done that? Have you completed that assignment? And all of a sudden, that is all you needed to get back at it. But without that accountability, without someone checking in, without someone helping you out, you will find it difficult to be productive. You find it difficult to, actually focus and get what you want to do. Right? So these are the actual problems with, yes, we have a lot of materials and there are a lot of certifications everywhere. The actual problem is not the courses. The courses are there, right? But the problem is there is no structure, there is no feedback, there is no context, and there is no accountability, right? When you're just randomly, cruising around courses, right? And I'm not telling you this because I want you to listen to me, but I'm telling you this because it has happened to me. It happened to me when I started learning. I was just learning randomly. I was really just, today I'm learning Python, tomorrow I'm learning SQL, next tomorrow I'm doing something else, but there was no structure to it. I couldn't tell anybody per se at the time I started in 2018, 2019. I couldn't tell anybody per se, okay, this is what I have done so far. This is what I intend doing tomorrow. And then the person is checking in with me. There was no one to give me feedback whether what I was doing was actually proper or not, because at that time I remember I had to leave the hub where I was going to at the time, and then I went for service. So within that period, I didn't have anybody to actually give me proper feedback. And then I was learning without context. I didn't know where I was going to apply Python. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was just learning the language for the sake of learning. It took me a while to actually narrow down and say, oh, this is what I want to do: data, machine learning, AI. And I'm not interested in doing it for every field in the world. I'm interested in doing it for this particular field. And I love teaching. So I'm also going to, focus on teaching, right? That, for me, helped me narrow down what I needed to learn, how I needed to learn them, and, keep building my skills around that. So I would like to ask you a couple of questions because I want you to interact with me. I don't want to be talking alone. How many courses have you started that you did not finish? Yes, yes, yes. Let's shoot ourselves in the leg. This is a safe space, so don't worry. Nobody is going to shame you. How many courses have you started that you did not finish? Okay, so let me go to the chat. Let's see what people are saying. How many courses have four? Ife Dayo. Wow, wow, wow. That is wow. That's all I can say. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So can someone else let us know? How many courses have you started? You know that let me just catch someone. There are some people here. You started Udacity course. All those free sponsored Udacity courses. You started them and you never finished. You never graduated. Some of you probably started a course with ALX in 2025. January cohort, March cohort, December cohort, and at a point you just told yourself, Omo, I no do again, I beg. I did not I did not come to kill myself. Yeah. So Mariam did not complete one course. Mariam, you're good. I hope to learn from you. Wow, this is memory lost. Wow, wow, wow. That's so crazy. Well, it's good that we all, are able to recollect these things because it's difficult sometimes when you're learning alone, when there is no structure, when there is no feedback, right? So I understand each and every one of us on the reason why we've not been able to complete those courses. So I just want to understand from you, which of these two is harder, knowing what to learn or staying consistent? Which of the two made it difficult for you to complete that course? Is it the problem of consistency or not even knowing what you're learning? You don't understand what you're learning and you don't know how to correct it. So how many courses which one was harder really for you? Knowing what to learn or staying consistent? Okay, someone said in the chat, both and couple more. And couple more reasons. Wow, that's so nice. We would love to hear your reasons so we can see how we can build DSNG around those. Thank you so much, Dee. So, staying consistent is, for me, that was my biggest problem because I knew I wanted to learn Python at a point. I knew when I needed to learn Power BI, right? I knew I kind of had an idea because I have a CS background. So those ideas for me were a bit, I knew what I wanted to learn, but staying consistent was my problem. Ife Dayo, thank you for your comment as well. So staying consistent was a problem for me. And how would you even be able to stay consistent if you don't have motivation, if you don't have someone that you are accountable to, if you're not able to translate what you're learning to real life? So you see, a lot of the problems I had discussed earlier, actually for me were the things that led to my inconsistency, right? And I know that is also the story for a lot of us. Okay, so let's continue. Now, what are the hidden costs of undirected learning? when you're just learning for learning's sake. Today you're learning from channel one on YouTube. Tomorrow you're learning from a different channel. Next tomorrow you see someone on TikTok talking about something and how that thing helped him or her in his place of work. And wow, you go and look for where the course is and start learning that. What are the hidden costs of undirected learning? The first one is you waste time. A lot of these lessons or a lot of these courses are 6 months long, even sometimes a couple weeks long, and you just find out that you're wasting time. Precious time is wasted because of ineffective learning strategies, because of what do you call them now? Um Inconsistency, right? So time is just wasted, completely wasted, right? Now, following that, another problem is burnout. I know a lot of us, especially in Africa, we don't usually agree that people can be burnt out, especially mentally. When you're learning a lot and maybe you're not able to attach what you're learning, the theory you're learning, to the real life applications, you find it so difficult and you're like, man, why am I even learning all these things? I'm tired, please. And then I'll give you a very funny example. I remember the first time I joined ALX, I think that was in 2023 or so. I was just like, okay, let me join ALX and see what they're doing there. And mind you, I have a 9 to 5. And ALX will send you projects, 3, 4 projects every morning. And you need to deliver. Some of them had deadline for the same day, some of them had deadline for the next day, and these deadlines were strict. I was like, please, 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 I don't understand. I was just burnt out because there were a lot of things to do at the same time, coupled with my job. So I was burnt out quite early and I never finished that course with ALX. Not because I did, in fact, I knew what they were teaching. Some of the materials they even sent or they were sharing with us were things that I was already familiar with. But because I had a lot to cover in a short space, I just got burnt out and I couldn't continue. So that alone can contribute, can be an effect of undirected learning. Now, that one was not undirected learning per se, but it just had a lot in a very short time. Now, you will get to lose confidence because imagine you're learning Python and for every 2 to 3 months, every quarter in the year, you have to go back and start learning what is Python, how do you, what are variables, how do you define variables, and so on and so forth. You will get tired. You will lose confidence. At the point you start asking yourself, is it that I don't know these things? Why am I, learning the same thing over and over and over again? At a point, it just feels, please let me just leave this thing and focus on something else, because your learning is undirected. There is no shared accountability. There is no focus. There is no contest, and you just lose confidence. Another thing is you have to start again, because truth be told, if you leave programming, even if you've been coding for years and you stop coding completely for a period of time, when you come back, you're going to start again. Now imagine someone who has not even learned the basics properly. Imagine someone who has just been start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. You will start again, and sometimes when you're starting, you're not even starting at square zero. Sometimes you have to start at square -1, square -2, because you're frustrated. So you need to build your confidence back. You need to, encourage yourself again. You need to motivate. Those are square minus minus, because the actual learning starts from square zero when you're already ready and prepared to learn new knowledge, right? Now, so how do we solve these many issues that we are having? That is why you're here in this bootcamp, masterclass rather, because all the skills matter, right? But they are not equal. All the skills matter, they are not equal. And the order in which you learn them is most important. Not all skills are equal, because there are ones that form your foundation, and there are others that you just need to, top up. And we are going to look at them in 3 to 4 layers. We are going to look at them. There are some foundational skills you must have. Now, these tools I noted here, Excel, Power BI, SQL, They are used across all these levels of competency: foundational, core, and specialization. You need all of them across all of them. But if you miss your foundational, if you miss your foundation, you find it difficult at the core level. And if you even have issues with the core level, that means specialization is going to be very difficult for you. Now, for people who are coming from other fields that are not computer or computer related, you already have some sort of specialization in your field, right? In your domain. That's what we call domain expertise. For example, if someone who is a medical doctor comes to learn data science, right, or data analytics, the person already has domain knowledge in medicine. The person already understands what it means to be a medical doctor, right? All the person now needs to do is to learn data science and attach it to what he or she already knows. So sometimes you already have your kind of specialization or some sort of leverage because of your domain knowledge, but then you need to add foundational data analysis or data science skills to what you already know, as well as the core skills in between. So let's look at it. Firstly, you want to understand how to think the data way. Is not you don't just start learning data science right off the bat. You don't just start and then the first thing they get to teach you is how to use Python, how to use this, how to use that. No. When you start data journey, whether data analysis, data science, or machine learning, the first thing is to understand, how does data work? How can I look at a problem through a data-driven lens? For example, if in your organization you're talking about customer related indices, you need to understand, how do we even collect this data in the first place? What does it mean for someone to be considered our customer in terms of the data? If you're not able to reason that way, you already have difficulty attributing what you learn to real life scenarios. So you need to, work on your mind to be able to think, the way data works, to understand how data works. And then when you're able to understand how data works, the next thing is you need to start framing questions or framing problems, in a way that data can actually solve them. Because imagine someone comes to you and says, oh, we need to make 500,000 in our business this coming week. Okay, we need to make 500,000, but that's not a data question, right? That's not a data question. That is not even a data concern per se. You need to rephrase that question into something that data can answer. For example, you can say, what did we do last week to move our profit margin from 200,000 to 300,000? When we understand that, we can now use that to say, how can we build on this? Or what do you think we can do based on the data to move our profit margin to 500,000 this week? Now, that is a data question. That is framing your question the data way, right? Now, when you're done with that, you now begin to look at basic statistics. What does mean, averaging, what does it mean? When you say medium, when you say mode, median and mode, what do they mean? How do they affect our data? When someone says, oh, please, can you explain the median of these values? What does that even mean in the first place, right? You need to understand your basic statistics. By the time you start doing some descriptions, exploratory data analysis, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, exploratory data analysis. When you begin to do that, what it means is look into the data and find out what the data is saying. Most often than not, if you understand your basic statistics, mean, median, mode, standard deviation, you're already getting a lot of information from that data before you begin to look at the other advanced statistics on your data. But if you're able to understand your basic statistics, then you've gone a long way already. So understanding the basic statistics, that is why at Data Sally, we help you understand what is mean, what is median, what is mode, and how can we interpret our data based on these statistics. We start from the basics, right? Now, when you're done with understanding your basic statistics, you can go on to learn Excel. Excel is very good for basic statistics because it helps you to look into data. When you're able to learn Excel properly, you've really gone far with your statistics. And then beyond that, we now advise you to go into SQL, to go into SQL, your structured query languages. Why? Because it will help you to interact with the database. A lot of data these days is not just stored in one file sitting on your computer, especially for large organizations. So if you're looking to work in large organizations, you know they're not going to just be giving you Excel, CSV files. They would need you to work with databases. So you need to understand how to pull data from databases, how to store data in databases, and how to manage database as a whole. So when you're done with that, you know your spreadsheet logic is still there. You started it already at this level 3 in basic statistics. So you build on the advanced by this level 4, and then you begin to do what we call visualizations. That is when you're able to create charts. That is when you're able to, create graphics that people can look at, because for you as a data analyst, if you look at the statistics, you understand what you want, what the data is saying. But for someone who is not technical, the person will look at mean, median, mode, and the person will be wondering, so what next? I don't understand. What do you mean? So because you don't want your stakeholders to be asking you a lot of questions, you want to be able to visualize it so that when they see, they say, oh, okay, so this is what you mean by standard deviation. They spread. You say, yes. You see, one customer came in the morning, another customer came in the night. The difference, the time difference between when a customer comes and when the next customer comes, that is what we are looking at. We are looking at the spread, between that and the average. We are looking, you put it in a chart format that they will be able to interact with, they will be able to understand easily. If you do not get the foundations, you are bound to break. Everything else is likely to collapse if you don't get the foundation right. If you don't understand how to think the data way, if you don't understand how to frame questions properly, as a data analyst, as a data scientist, that already is a challenge for you, and you would need to fix that before going to layer 2. Now, layer 2 are your core skills. Now you've learned about databases, you've learned about SQL, you've learned about Excel. You also want to start applying it to real data sets. You want now the technicals that you were able to learn SQL. That is great. You were able to learn Power BI. That is amazing for visualization. You were able to learn Excel. You can do a lot of things in Excel. That is great. But if you are not able to apply it to real life data, you know that real life data that when you bring it in, somebody is spelling Nigeria as Nigeria, another person is spelling Nigeria as NIG, and another person is spelling Nigeria as N, and hoping that you would understand which country that is. If you're not able to work with data sets like that, when you ask people, enter your date of birth, and then somebody is putting 06 minus 04 minus 2025. Another person is putting 06 slash. If you're not able to handle data like that, all your technical skills will not work. Your knowing all those ones it would be difficult to translate them to real life. So what am I saying? Yes, you've gotten the technical foundations. Now you need to move from that technical foundations to applying it to real life data. Try to download data from somewhere. There are a lot of data platforms, real life data platforms. You have the UK police data, you have data, you can even mine data from social media and try to use that, to test your skills and to groom yourself. Next, you need to learn how to actually clean data, because real world data is never clean. Real world data is never ever clean. There is nowhere you collect real world data and it is clean. Nowhere. So you need to be able to clean real world data and transform them from the raw, messy thing that you've downloaded into something you can actually use for analysis. Now you need to now grow from just normal visualization, maybe column chart, scatter plots, to actually advanced visualizations. Now, when I mean advanced visualizations, when you started probably in Power BI, you learned how to do charts directly. You bring in your data and then you plot. Now, at this point, we want you to move from just being able to plot directly to being able to work on your data and create visualizations that can change with changes in your data. Visualizations that can be interacted with. At this point, your chart should be better. Your chart should make more sense. Your chart should be a whole lot clearer, right? At this point, the emphasis is on practicability. The emphasis is on application, not just I know it, I know it, I know it. It is at this point you begin to build your portfolio, because what is portfolio exactly? Portfolio is I learned SQL and this is what I did with SQL. That is basically what portfolio is. I learned Power BI, I was able to do this with Power BI. I learned Python and this is what I'm able to do with Python. That in itself is what your portfolio is. So at this layer 2, you are making sure that you're trying to apply, find a problem, get a solution. Oh, this thing needed a database. I developed a database for it. Not just I know how to code, I know how to use SQL, I know how to. No, at this point, we want to see what you know how to do. Okay? Now, at layer 3, this is where you are now building or adding more skills that would help you grow, and skills that would actually make you different from another person who learned the same skills that you did and have built the same, maybe even better portfolios than you. What do they do differently? They ask themselves, okay, I want to apply to an oil and gas firm. What kind of data is being generated within this organization? What kind of interpretations are they looking for? At the end of the day, what should the data analysis or the data science or the machine learning model that should be generated in this organization, how should it translate into business goal, right? Because imagine a school, for example, if a school employs you as a data analyst, they are definitely hoping that your analysis and whatever you're doing as a data scientist or as a machine learning expert should translate to more students for them next year. It should translate to more profit margin at the end of the day. You should be able to tell them where their money is leaking from, what they can do to cushion whatever losses that they are having over time. That is business understanding. Do you understand? So that business understanding will put you, on a different pedestal compared to someone else who is also looking for the same job that you are looking for and has the same technical abilities that you have. Another thing is communication. If you are not able to explain the result of your analysis, the result of your data science, the result of your machine learning model to people who do not have anything to do with technicals, people who don't understand computer. Do you know there are a lot of CEOs that once you start talking about the only thing they know about computer is that we use it and type, email, and send, and call somebody on Teams. Even that calling someone on Teams, they need somebody to guide them, around that. And these people, you are coming to explain your results, your data findings, and all you're saying is, sir, see the mean, sir, see what the model says this is what we are forecasting. The man is looking at you and like, so what does it mean? So you should be able to communicate, translate what your analysis is into a narrative, into something that this stakeholder can understand. Now, this communication also feeds into storytelling, because that is the type of communication strategy that works well in this field. You want to draw people from a point, from their problem, to a solution. You don't just say, oh, the problem is we don't have money. Solution, let us sell more goods. You want to take them from that journey that, oh, we discovered that we are losing money on this particular product. And we noticed that this problem is because of this and that and that. So if we are able to resolve this and that, we would have solved our problem. And at the end of the day, we now have this solution. That is storytelling. You're moving the person from from one point to the other, and you're not just leaving the gaps in between. You're also explaining them, but it's in a way that actually compels this person to see where you're coming from and where you're going to. At the end of the day, if you're a good communicator, you tell stories very well with your data, and you're not able to guide us to make good decisions, then you've also failed. So you also need to build on, you know, I remember one time, I think someone was talking to me, and the person said, Sally, you always say, I think, I think, I think. Can you stop thinking out loud? Can you now tell us what we should do? I think so. Yes, someone I've met that. Someone said that to me directly. Like, you always say, I think, I think, I think we should do this. I think this is what is happening. And the person said, no, stop thinking. What is the problem? So rather than thinking as a data analyst or as a data scientist or as a machine learning engineer, you need to move from that point of, I think this is the problem, to this is the problem and this is the solution. No more I think, because now you're working with data. It is very clear. It's as clear as day. So you are preferring a solution that is clear. You're preferring a solution that is strategic. You're preferring a solution that is data driven. So you need to build yourself to the point where you can give decisions, help make decisions because of the data you've analyzed, right? This particular set is what will put you're on a different pedestal to other people who know the technical things that you know, who understand Python, who can code in Python, do DAX with Power BI, and do so many things. If you're able to understand the business problem, you're able to communicate very well, tell stories with data, and help make decisions, you have hit the nail on the head and you're already good to go. Now, at the end of layer 3, when you're very good with all those skills in layer 3, the next point for you is to now decide, okay, where do I actually want to focus on? A lot of people decide that they don't want to move past data. They just want to focus on data science, data analytics. They want to be highly involved in collating data, mining for data, reporting data, making analysis and tracking. They just want to be on the data point. It is not wrong. It is also it's a specialization. So some people stop at that point. Other people say, no, I want to be able to build models. I want to predict the future. I want to predict insights, futuristic insights. And then they focus on that as well. Other people say, well, I am a lazy person, to be honest. I want to build AI agents. I want to leverage technologies and build things that can look at the data, make sense out of it, and work, independently. Some people go to that point as well. And other people say, yes, I want to do data, but I want to do it in medicine. I want to do data, but I want to do it in healthcare. I want to do data, but I want to do it in finance. You see, those people, they are also specializing. But there is something I want to tell you at this point. Don't try to specialize when you've not gained enough experience. And how much experience is enough experience? In my opinion, as someone who has been in the field for a bit, I will tell you, experience is having worked in, if you've been able to work in a particular field for up to 2 years straight up, or let's say 1 year, 6 months straight up, then you can decide, oh, this place is for me or it's not for me, right? But if you've not learned about any particular field, if you've not focused on any particular field for a reasonable amount of times, 1 year at least, please don't specialize. Please don't specialize. Don't say, I've learned Python, let me just go and, no. As much as it's possible, expose yourself to the different applications when it comes to data and AI. And when you've exposed yourself enough, you can now begin to say, okay, I have more flair in this area. But on the other hand, there's a caveat to it. Now, the caveat is, just like I mentioned earlier, someone who did medicine is already an expert when it comes to health, right? And that person will be better suited to specialize in health. So in that case, I can easily tell that person, once you learn your data science, data analytics, or machine learning, whichever one you want to do, you can decide to go into healthcare because that place you've already groomed yourself for years and you understand it perfectly. Do you get? So that is my own take on specialization. So I've been talking for a bit and I would like to hear from you. Has this been your learning approach? Has this been your learning approach? Have you, learned this way? Have you maybe said, oh, I just want to be doing healthcare, and since you started, you've been doing healthcare? I would love to know your thoughts. Hi guys, am I still audible? Am I still audible? Am I still audible? Have you
Yes,
been
we
learning
can
this
hear you.
way? Okay. Has this been your learning approach? And on which layer have you spent the most time? On which layer have you spent the most time? Is someone saying something? You can type in the chat. Okay. Someone, okay, said that, oh, Mariam has spent the most time on SQL. That's interesting. That's good to know. So that means you're still on the technicals. You need to move now, Mariam, from the technicals to the other skills, the non-technical skills like communication, business understanding, and so on and so forth. So well done, Mariam. Any other person wants to share with us? Where have you spent the most time? Okay, so Teresa said, so far, the few months I've worked in finance, business analysis, but I would like to also do a project in health because I see it is quite good. That's amazing. That's a good plan to also check what other fields are, doing and how you can fit in if it is something that works for you. So well done. So that's a good one. You've worked in one field and you want to explore another field. That's a very good one, Teresa. Well done. Okay, well done, Teresa. All right. Okay, so let's continue. For me, I spent a whole lot of time in layer two because I was finding it very difficult to apply what I have learned to real life. It was very difficult for me to make that transition, but it also made a lot of sense to me when I was able to find a way to take what I have learned and put it into real life application. It made the most sense for me when I was able to find my way around that. Okay, now what would you ignore at this point? What would you ignore? I want to plead with you. Please ignore random certifications. You don't need them. A lot of people get data analysis job without certifications. You can ask questions. A lot of people do not need to show, oh, I have this certificate in Python, I have the other certificate in this one. A lot of people don't do that to get their jobs. Rather than chase certifications, I would plead with you to chase structured learning. Chase structured learning, not certifications. Another thing I would ask you to do is, as much as you can, try to master one tool per time. Yes, in layer one, I told you you're going to focus on your technicals. You try to do SQL, you try to do Power BI, you try to do Excel, and you want to do all of them at the same time. You will break down. You will get tired. In fact, you may not learn the as much as you want to, because you're learning so many things at the same time. So try not to master so many tools at the same time. No matter how people are pushing you, focus on one at a time. The next thing I'll ask you to ignore is, please don't jump to the far end of the pool when you've not learned how to swim on the shallow ends. What do I mean? A lot of people love, I want to do machine learning. I want to do robotics. I want to do, and they don't know Python. I'm sorry to share this, but usually people reach out to me and they ask me to maybe guide them with assignments. Now, these are people who are probably doing their masters in robotics, machine learning, something, something. And then you just be wondering, how did you decide to go and do something in machine learning when you don't even know how to write a simple Python code? How? And you're just wondering, how did we get to the point that you're doing masters and you cannot learn these simple things, right? I'm not saying it's wrong to dream. I'm only saying don't jump into the shallow ends of the water when you've not into the deep ends of the water when you've not learned to swim in the shallow ends. So as much as you can, please learn your basics. If it is Python you're doing, learn it very well so that when someone wakes you up in the middle of the night to write a Python code, you can do that without, at least you can start off without having to consult Google or ChatGPT. You need to be confident that much in yourself before you start moving forward, before you start looking at, okay, now I've learned data analysis, how can I add something to it to become a data scientist? Or how can I add something to it to become a machine learning engineer? Okay, even in machine learning, you don't just learn supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, everything at the same time. No, you take it one step at a time. So structured learning, if it is not structured, please ignore. If you're going to be chasing random certificates, please ignore. If you're going to try to master 500 tools at the same time, please and please ignore. If you're going to try to jump into the deep ends before you are comfortable with the shallow waters, darling, ignore. And at the most important, don't chase every new trend. No, don't do that. Don't chase every new trend. Oh, people are going this way, you join them. Oh, people are doing this now, you join them. No, not all the new trends are important for you. If you pick one tool, focus on it, learn it so well that you can do it without batting your eyelids. Then you can now decide, okay, what's the next step for me? And why is that next step even important for me? Right? It's not as if doing these things or learning so many tools, getting certifications, they are not bad. It's just your timing. You would not be able to move fast. You will not be able to grow well if you pack all of these things, and you try to get them done at the same time. Now, what exactly are employers looking for? Because I know this is where we are all looking at. Employers want people who can solve real problems for them. They don't want people who are just going to say, I know SQL, I know Python, I know this, I know that. No, they want to know, okay, how would your Python help my life? How would your Python impact me? Can you explain, your thinking? You remember when I said business understanding, communication, storytelling?
Hi guys, we lost our speaker. Just in a minute, she'll join back. Okay, so while we are waiting for her, you can share what you've learned so far. How has this class helped you already? Let's hear from you while we wait for her to join again. So let's see if you're gaining value already. Okay, I'm expecting your responses in the chat. Is the masterclass like an eye opener for you? Is it already directing you on what to do next? What have you learned so far? Please let's share. This is a very important masterclass. We've seen the challenges that people are facing in the data field. That's what brought about the idea of organizing this masterclass. So share with us what you've learned so far while we wait for our speaker to join again. Okay, I'm waiting for your responses. Okay, because for you to have been patient, listening, it means that you're gaining value. So, what have you learned so far? Please drop your comments. I'll be reading them. I want to believe we've learned a lot already. So, please share your thoughts, share what you've gotten, what you've learned. Hello, I've not seen any chat, any commented. Okay, please, this session is also important while we wait for the speaker to join back. What have you learned so far? What have you learned so far? Okay, learning what kind of data your company of interest deal with. Very important, making research. That's very important, knowing the type of data, finding an accountability partner that can to help build consistency. That's also very important. Understanding the kind of data, the type of data your company works with, or okay, is interested in. Very important. Learning what kind of data your company of interest deal with. Good. Yes. So there's one person I know well. He's a data analyst. He's been a data analyst for 8 years, and he applied for a role and got it immediately. So let me give us the cheat code. He browsed the company, then used AI to create a data set, like a synthetic data set that mimics the type of data set that that company works with. You know, different industries work with different types of data sets. So the person was able to use AI to mimic their possible data sets that that company or that industry works with. So after doing that, he created a dashboard addressing some issues that the company might be facing, right? He created a dashboard, displayed, he created a dashboard, displayed some of the KPIs. That is after his research, getting to understand the KPIs that that company use it to measure their performance. So after doing that, he created a very good dashboard telling a beautiful data story and how to solve different problems that they may likely have. That is what he presented during his interview. And guess what? He got the job. Some other people that would have applied for that job or gone through the same interview, possibly maybe they would have just gone there, shown their portfolios. This is what I can do, this is what I have done randomly. But this guy was very strategic. He did not just come as a data professional, but he showed something. He already made them understand that he's interested in solving the problem in their company. So ask yourself alone, like, who are you going to employ? You already pick interest in that person. Okay, someone says gaining experience before narrowing your work into a niche. Yeah, so it's very important. Then, like the speaker said, salvation, she said that after learning, choose a niche, which is correct. At the same time, what I'll also add is you can look out for 3 industries that you are interested in. And you can also browse about industries that easily employ data analysts or data professionals. It's not just limited to data analysts now, data professionals, let me put it that way. So browse about the companies or the industry that are willing to employ, that look out for these skills. Then you can choose three or out of those industries and build projects. Look out for data sets. Sometimes you might not be able to get full data sets that address those industries, but you have artificial intelligence, AI at your advantage. You can create synthetic data sets mimicking what these people do. Okay, then try to show what you can do, like your dashboard, your try solving problems and show it to them. You don't need to speak too much. They're already excited. You are the person they will employ. There are data jobs, but we have a lot of data analysts. Sometimes why people do not get these opportunities is that you don't know what the employers really want. So getting to understand what the employers want by creating projects around their industry will enable you get these opportunities. You'll even be happy with yourself. Oh, our speaker is still not back. Let me quickly check on us, the speaker. Okay, so while I interviewed last year with a company, and one of the things that helped me to stand out, it was not just, I did not even have a fancy portfolio. The portfolio I have is just my GitHub where I have my project. What made me stand out of about how many people that passed to the interview? It's about 11 persons or so. What made me stand out and get the job is that I was able to show, like I could explain, relate what I knew, my technical skills to their business. Okay. And I had projects that were linked to their business, like what they've done or what the company does. So it made them build confidence in me that I will be able to perform. There are other people that had more fancy, or there are people that had fancier um, portfolios, projects. But how are you able to put yourself forward, communicate your abilities? How are you able to explain your project to suit that business, that industry? Okay, so do we have our speaker back? Let me confirm. So please, I still want to get your feedback. What have you learned so far from the our speaker will soon come back. Please, I want to get your views. Okay, our speaker is still around. Hello, Sally. Can you say something? Can you hear me? Okay, so I think she's having a network challenge. All right, so let's hear from you. Let's hear your thoughts. Yeah. What have you learned so far from the session? I want to get more views because she has explained a lot to everyone, to us. Okay, more responses, please. Okay, I think I have another response here. Okay, how to own my skills or projects reflect the company's goals, most importantly, while applying for jobs. That is top notch. That is very correct. Spot on. How to own my skills or projects reflect the company's goals, most importantly, while applying for jobs. So this is also very important. Okay, so quickly, I'm just going to wrap up. I think she has already almost finished everything. Okay, okay, so I'll share my screen quickly. I have a slide, so the day is not lost completely. And let me quickly share the screen. Please, can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen? Okay,
Hi everyone.
okay. Thank God.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what happened. My laptop just froze. At what point did you stop hearing me, please?
Hello, Sally. We stopped hearing you when you were talking about things to ignore.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that. I'm not sure what happened. I think my laptop froze. My Zoom is still showing on my laptop, but I can't see or hear anything. Okay, thank you, IB. Okay, so please, at what point did we? Okay, I stopped at what employers want. All right, so employers actually want you to be able to answer real questions. Do you understand? You'll be able to answer real questions, be able to solve real problems. You'll be able to explain your thinking, right? If you're not able to explain your thought process to the employer, then you're already having issues with your employer, right? Your employer wants you to be able to tell them what why you took a particular route, why you did things a particular way. That is, your employer needs to hear that from you. So remember when I talked about the portfolio part, right? And I explained that your portfolio should be able to explain your portfolio should be able to explain um what you did and why. That why is your thinking. If you cleaned the data a certain way, if you performed a certain technical step, to clean your data, then you should be able to explain why you did that rather than use another method. Okay. You also need to be able to communicate your insights. You should also be able to work with messy data because messy data is real world data. Real world data is not clean. So I remember I cited an example earlier of someone who on TikTok, the lady was just saying that, oh, she does not download data from Kaggle anymore because she does not download data from Kaggle anymore. Why? Because um Kaggle always gives very clean data and does not reflect the real world. Okay. So you can also try to look for how to get data that is not from Kaggle, right? There are options like the UK Data Police, like WHO, data.gov. You can get data from all of those data banks or platforms online. Okay, please can you go to the next slide? Okay, so I rounding off now with why a lot of portfolios do not convert. If your portfolio is very generic, if your portfolio does not have any business context, what do we mean by business context? We mean business context by when your portfolio, your everything you did, we cannot say this is the particular industry that you're focusing on. Remember, when you're learning, you were learning from everywhere, right? You were trying out a lot of things. But if you're thinking of specializing in healthcare, then that means you need to create a portfolio with projects tailored towards health, right? If you're going for entry level, at entry level, business context may not necessarily be your biggest issue. At entry level, you're probably looking at how can I even take data that is real world data, and what can I do on it and explain it. That is what you're looking for at entry level. But by the time you're looking at specializing, you cannot tell me you want to go into academics and then you don't have any project on academics. You cannot tell me you're going to healthcare and then all your project is in football, right? So you need to also put that into consideration. Next, you should be able to explain the reason behind the project you're doing. If maybe you don't have any reason, let's say, some people will tell you, oh, I'm very keen towards cancer data because my grandma had cancer, she died of cancer this, cancer that. So they have some affection towards data from that field, right? Or data from that area. But you as a person may not have that kind of affinity towards any particular data set. But you should be able to tell, oh, I think that, or I believe that from this data set, I will be able to help an organization make a decision towards this or towards that. That is also a reason. So it doesn't have to be the emotional part all the time. It can just be, I believe that if I'm able to look into how TVs come into Nigeria, how customs work on electronics, I'll be able to help an organization know when to bring in their goods, or when it's best to clear their goods and things like that. That is business context and explanation. Your decision impact is that you should be able to tell at the end of the day how that is going to help the organization grow, right? If you're not able to do that, you would also have a bit of nuances. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, I think that's the end. So, yeah, thank you so much. I reiterated on my end why people actually get stuck, learning alone, having either no deadlines or a lot of deadlines to meet, no feedback and no structure. That, please make sure you do away with all that. Ignore anything that says no structure, anything that says you can learn this and learn that and learn that all at the same time. My darling, run. So I think that's where I'll be drawing the curtains. We are also showing you that data science is your go-to when it comes to learning and growing in data science, because we value clarity, we value pushing you out there, we value structure, we value the feedback mechanism and accountability. And all of that is what we put into our teachings and our sessions to make sure you do not come out without being grounded and ready for the job market. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. You can put them in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and unmute your mic to ask your questions. So any questions, you can raise them now. We are available to answer your questions. If you want to unmute your mic, you can raise your hand and we would reach out to you. Remember, we have our next bootcamp coming up on the 9th of February. And at the end of this masterclass, we would be giving one person a full ride to the next cohort. So someone who wants to learn and has been very, engaging in this session would be given the opportunity to learn with us for free, and then we'll be giving two other persons a 20% discount. They'll be able to learn with us at a discounted price. And for others, we are not saying you shouldn't come. We would really love to have you in our classes, but it will cost you 150,000 naira. And trust me, you're going to get every value for your money, every single value for your money. And the cohort is starting. This is our fourth cohort. We've taught a number of students over a period of 1 year, and we are good to go. Oh, Teresa is saying she wants to win. But let's see. Hope you followed us across all our social media platforms. Okay, Kofi, the payment process is you would have to pay directly to the Data Sally account. We would send you that. I think you chatted us up online on WhatsApp. So we'll reach out to you and we'll send you the details, the payment details. So Emilia, please take note of that. Would reach out to him and send him the payment details on WhatsApp. Okay, there is a link you can register at DSNG Bootcamp, bit.ly/DSNG Bootcamp. You can register. The payment information is also on the Google form. Any other questions? We are wrapping up now. Thank you so much for being with us the past almost 2 hours now, and we are really grateful that you're here. Thank you so much for being with us this long. We wouldn't want to stretch you beyond the next 6 minutes. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask as we round up. Okay, so now I'll be handing back to IB. So she will just reiterate our social media platforms, the bootcamp, and whatever other information she has for us. Okay, IB, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Please let's appreciate our speaker. We need your reaction. Yes, I can see some of your comments that is gained value. So please let's appreciate our speaker. Thank you very much, Salvation Speakers. It was really an awesome session. We've learned a lot. Yes, we have different comments, people sharing what they've learned. Okay, how to own my skills, projects, and a lot. So let's just send our reactions, and yeah, you can react from the icons there. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so like the speaker has already mentioned, our boot camp is opening in February, and from February 9th, we are going to start a new boot camp, a new session. So we'd love to have you in our class. One lucky person will get the scholarship. Like we said, for you to be eligible, you have to follow us on our social media platforms. Also share your experience. Most of you that have joined the masterclass today, you're already a data professional, you're already working, you just joined to learn more. So please share your experience also on your social media platform and tag us, so that we can as well see how the masterclass has helped you. How, yeah, because I mentioned that we didn't just organize it for fun. We organized it to address some issues that people have been complaining about, and we believe that the masterclass has addressed most of these, a good number of these issues. So our boot camp is starting on the 9th of February. Mark your date, mark your calendar. Then We'll also drop the registration link on the platform, the WhatsApp group. Emilia, please can you drop the registration link? Okay, it's in the chat already. You can register from here. You can register for the boot camp. We'll be very happy to have you. Like I mentioned before, our classes are hands-on. You will learn practical skills. You will learn, we'll hold your hands like you're a baby and walk you through your data journey. So thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you for staying put. Do you have any questions before we draw the curtain finally? Okay, so if there are no questions, then we'll call it. See, I don't even feel like leaving. I don't know. I just like talking to people too. Let me not keep you here any longer. Thank you very much. Yeah, have a nice time. Bye bye. Bye. Okay, the boot camp link is there. Register. We want to see you in
Bye.
class.
See you in
Bye.
class.
Bye. Some people are like me here. They don't want to leave
They don't
also.
want to leave. But we have to. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.